I'm sorry I didn't hit the like button. I did it just now, okay? Sorry. Good evening, people. How are you all? Today the drinks are kind of boring again. We have Fanta Zero Sugar Lemon and Fanta Zero Sugar Exotic Taste. Let's go for the exotic, because I'm thirsty. Ooh, guten Abend, Stahldraht, says Johnny. So Nigel was here first, and then it was Jacco Weiss, and Jacco noticed the music first. Whoa. And then Draadstahl started being like cop, if people hit the like button or not. And then Johnny came in. And Felix is here. Neat Mountain Dew Baya Blast. I don't think we have that here in the Netherlands. But yeah. The music is still way too loud. There we go. So today we're gonna do the software side of things, at least part. I don't know how long we'll take. Depends on how stuck we get. I already know one problem I had while installing the first node, so we'll have to traverse that. Yeah. Time to learn to pronounce my last name. It's just Vaas, like zoals the river, but then with a W. Okay, so not Maas, but Vaas. I actually live very close to the Maas, so. Okay, Jacco Vaas. Good evening there, Greg. Welcome to the pre-stream. We're very early today. What shall we talk about? Does anyone have a good topic? I actually need I need to clean up something. Hold on. Hello. Your opinion on outdoor permanent LED pod lights? Huh. Well, I don't have any, but maybe in a new house. I think they can be cool. They give a very different effect than an LED strip, for instance. So, yeah. So sure, especially if you can like integrate the wiring when you're building the garden, I think those could be, could be cool. But I don't have much experience with them. There were some in the 2024 Lights live stream. Yeah, that's mostly it. Nope, not this one. Okay, good. I was cleaning up. I had a bunch of these cables come in, so I needed to sort them out and make a box. There, done. Make runway from your driveway with pod lights. Exactly, yeah. Make them go like the aircraft lights. You picked up 100 feet of them. Strips were too pricey for the length and outdoor rating. Okay. Well, they give a very different kind of light, but it still can be cool. Or do you mean those you can stick on? You know the smaller ones you can stick on, not the spotlight type, right? Because those can also be cool. They have a lot lower resolution, but then they're meant to illuminate a larger area. But we also tested those during the 2024 live stream. But yeah, those can have a very nice effect too. Lost the signal? What do you mean? No. Yeah, those small stick on, but also can hook with a cord. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I call those puck lights. How can I lock my chair? I always forget. No. Oh. I forget how I can lock this chair. Hold on. Oh, like that? Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so they have sticky pads and also a plastic nail clip. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think especially if you have those with a lens, that can give a really nice look. 24 volt. Yeah. I use a 48 volt style to test my 48 volt compatibility with. I think I have those close. Let me check. Yep. So I bought some of these. Well, we also checked those out in that live stream. These are 48 volt compatible puck lights. So they have 3 times RGB. Why is this not in focus? Is it? Okay. 3 times RGB and 3 times white, so they're RGBW. But these are 48 volt compatible, so you can send 48 volt. And since there is, I don't have an open one right now, there is a buck converter inside, even if you give them like 30 volt. So at the end of the string, since there is a buck converter in there, they'll still illuminate the same amount. So the voltage drop won't be visible. And they come with nice 16 gauge wire and 18 gauge for the data. So that's pretty nice too. And these waterproof connectors. But you have to buy them from Alibaba. But yeah. Those are pretty good. And as I said, I use these to test my 48 volt compatibility for like Diff Advanced and the Power 5 HV and stuff like that. Yeah, those are nice. Expensive, but nice. Nexilumi. Yeah, there's probably all kinds of brands selling the same OEMs in the end, but yeah. Oh, more people came in. It's Jerem's, our new UK. I was going to say UK. Our new CA, so Canada local reseller. I actually need to look up the URL. I think I know it a little bit. There. Yeah, I know it. So if you're Canada local, there is now a Canada local reseller, and you can find all the Quinn LED products here. And Martijn Vaasse is here. He is my brother. Hello, Martijn. Wait, I'm still on the small view. There. Another Vaasse, exactly. Yes, there's more. Govee has some too. Yeah, Govee has some multiple variants. One of those are 36 volts, but using a 48 volt compatible, like the Diff Advanced or Power 5 HV. Those work fine. So there's multiple generations here now. Watch out. Yes, well, you know. We still have so much time because I started early. Any more questions? Today I'm giving AI another device to add to its nodes until it becomes sentient? No, I don't think so. There's no AI processing CPU in here, so it'll be very slow. So it'll take hundreds of years before it takes over the world. So it's safe. Sure, Felix, I can understand that. Yeah, Amazon itself is already expensive, so I'm not putting AI in it. No, I'm putting lots of hard disks in it. Can you imagine running AI from hard disks? I think it'll take like a year before it gets one answer. You had AI energy drink, but now you're infected with AI nanobots. Do you tend to use any of the tech scripts for Proxmox, or do you know your way around the hypervisor enough that you no need? I think I've used them in the past to install like a Home Assistant VM. Although nowadays that's become easier. So generally I don't really run any scripts. Although today I wanted to take a look at, I believe there's a script where you can integrate the hard disk temperature and CPU temperature in the GUI. Sounds interesting. So we'll take a look at that. What do you think about the ESP32 Mini? You'll have to be more specific, because my custom ESP32 board is also based around the Mini form factor. Are we going to get to use some Wagos today? No, we did in like two streams back. All the hard disk power is connected together using Wagos. I don't know, they're older drives, few years old, so I don't know, Martijn. Well, Home Assistant runs on Linux no matter where you go. Sure, but you know, they have some scripts to install it easily. I don't remove the nag personally. Then you should just buy a license. And the updates are easy, so. Hey, MSX Droid is here. Martijn and I are MSX fanboys, boys. I recently watched the MSX 0 and MSX 3 presentation. I'm not really sure what that guy is smoking, but I think it's good for him. So, you know. Yeah, Felix, I partially have a cluster to run Home Assistant, because if Home Assistant goes down, my house doesn't do anything anymore. So that's why it's on a highly available cluster. Can we get the hardback in the middle of the stream? It's up to YouTube, man. Sometimes they update it and then it's gone, and then they update it again and then it's back. I don't know what to do. I can still hard, but it doesn't show up. Yeah, I didn't change anything on my end, so it's on the UPS. Well, that helps. You're on fiber, so your internet never goes down. Well, stuff can still fail. You don't know what he was smoking. Well, it's a Japanese guy, but he was in the Netherlands for the presentation, so. Yeah, sure, 10 store, but the nodes I'm building have like 112 terabytes of hard disks. So we can store large data sets, but only very slowly. Well, equipment can still fail there, Felix. It's still running through equipment, so, you know. The only 5 MSX people left on Earth are here. No. I think there's a larger crowd, for sure. 6 at least. Exactly. At least. My Home Assistant also is mostly set up for local, but I like it to be working. Even if something fails, you know. Oh, the Spectrum and the Commodore 64. Yeah, so we were rivals in the basisschool. No. The Commodore was really cool too. So I need to look something up because we're going to need that pretty quickly. Because we'll have to change the boot line of the installer to actually work. So I'll do that while we're talking. Ooh, you cracked Commodore 64 games. Ooh. No mode set. I believe that's what I need. Blah blah blah. Well, we'll try that first. Okay. You still have an MSX2. Nice. Yeah, I grew up on the MSX2. It's in a box under the living room. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means there, Felix. Ah, okay. Oh, you won Revision 2024? Were you there, Johnny, or...? Yeah, it's really cool what they can do nowadays. I'll check that out when I'm not streaming. Living room is midway upstairs. Okay. Oh, you had a BBS. Cool. I never had a modem for the MSX2, but some friend of mine did. Okay, well, it's almost time, so we can start our main topic today. And one of the first things we need to do is actually, I know Proxmox 8.3 installer is on one of these USB sticks. No? Face is more important. Come on, you can do it. One of these. I don't know which one. I think... No, I don't know. I'm gonna guess this one. So let's get set up. Well, let's talk about where we left off last time. Last time we left off with finishing the hardware build. So let's zoom that out. And the hardware build, I didn't touch it. I put the cover on it, and that's it. Oh, we put the hard disk. Jesus, it's so heavy now. We put the hard disks in it, and then we turn it on to see if it would turn on, and it did. So we left the hardware in this state, We have the SATA cables connected here. We have the buck converter we installed for the 5-volt power for the hard disks. We have our extra super duper extra 10 gigabit NIC over here, while having another 10 gigabit NIC here, and also a 2.5 gigabit onboard port. We have our power if we want to have an external disk array connected. Our power supply is installed, and yada yada yada. Everything is in there. So let's close that up, or at least put the cover on it. There, so I can shove it in the corner. Oh, here, yeah. So we will connect HDMI so you can actually see what's going on. And I have a 10 gigabit. Well, I was going to say 10 gigabit cable here, but it's really thin, so it'll likely support 10 gigabit, but not over great distances. But that's okay, the switch is right here. But let's connect that to our modded in network card like that. And we're going to need the mouse because I think we're going to use the graphical installer, but we'll see. There. And of course a keyboard. There are some LEDs, but the only built-in ones. We're not adding LEDs to this build. If you want to make it power efficient, you don't add LEDs. Did you test if the CMOS battery was healthy? What? No. I did not test that specifically, no. Okay, let's insert the guest USB thumb... The one we guessed it would be. USB thumb drive. Like so. It's lame without LEDs now. There's lots of hard disk LEDs. Okay. No, it's not a good time for an ad right now. Okay, let's enable display capture. No, not display capture. No. I need to enable this guy. And we might lag a little bit. I did adjust my settings, but you never know. Okay. Oh, we need power. Can't do it without power. Nope. There. Power enabled. Does anyone have Oracle US free cloud servers? What? No. We'll be returning to the way of LEDs shortly, but sometimes it's fun to do other stuff too. I know. It's coming from my mouth. I know. Okay, fans are turning on. Good. Oh, even the network card is power. Whoa. But it's probably doing a bit of memory training, so we have to wait a little bit. I have no idea, Dieselvin. I'm building local servers, not cloud servers. Oh, I hear the hard disks. Good. Oh, yeah, we got boot. We have boot. Very good. Oh, no, I can't do it with this mouse. Okay, let me move this over here. And let's go into setup. And let's see if we can find all the things. Okay, it found our 96 gigabytes of memory. That's good. Let's go to advanced. See what we need to adjust. TPM is enabled. That's good. CPU. Okay, that's all enabled. Onboard. Enabled rebar. Yep. I want SROV. And our PCIe ports. Okay, we don't need this PCIe port settings. We use just here. ACPI. Okay. That's fine. We can look at our hardware monitor, and it seems like all our fans are showing up. So we have our CPU fan, we have our SSD fan, and then we have sysfan 2, sysfan and sysfan 2. So that's all working. I do want to raise some values here because sysfan and sysfan 2 are spinning at like 300 RPM. That's a bit low. So we're going to say start RPM is like 80, and the full speed temperature should be like 40, and start is like 30. And we're going to replicate that for sysfan. I know this because I've been working with it for a while already. 40. Still need to tune these later on, but for now we're just going to up everything. Full speed, please do full speed at like 90 degrees. Start PWM can be 100, and below 50 degrees we don't need any fan speed. Okay, and our SSD fan is just spinning at 128. That's fine. Right? Okay. And then we're going into CBS. That's fine. Yeah, for our graphics card, we're going to set the lowest configuration possible because we're not going to use the graphics card really. So, but I need to find a different setting. Oh, power loss is also interesting. Let's go to always on. Because, you know, for a server that can be handy to have. This we all leave, and then we need one other menu. Here. I want our PCIe lanes not configured as a single X16 slot, but I want it configured as times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 times 4. The reason for that is because we have all those M.2 slots in our PCIe bifurcation card, and we want to have those all act individually. Okay, this is all fine. Can be auto. That's also fine. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to say save and exit on the right. Yes. And then we're going to go back in because we need to specify a boot device if we have the right USB stick. Oh, lots of people coming in. Hello, everyone. Too many mice. Yeah, that's... yeah. I am not the anchor. No. Use ChatGPT, yes. Okay, well, our settings are taking a little while to apply. It's always interesting. Oh, I see lights. There we go. Okay, so let's see if we can go to the BBS menu and boot from this flash drive. I have no idea. Ah, well, yeah, I got the right one the first try. Very good, very good. Now, we'll try the Proxmox VE graphical install, but we're probably going to have a problem. So let's try that. Unix epoch for me. Nice. Okay, I see our 10 gig interface coming online. That's good. So, can anyone spot the problem? I'll give you a second. the problem isn't that it's very small. That's not the problem. Oh, it's going to be hard to guess. So I'll give it a few seconds. Where's the button? There's no OK button. Exactly. You got it. So normally there is a wait, I don't know what mouse I should be using that you can see. Anyway, normally at the bottom here, so like over here, there is a bar which has buttons and options on it. But it's out of frame, so we can't use it. So let's give this, okay, let's turn it off. I can't turn it off. Okay, I'll hold the button. Okay, hold on. Let me wait for the hard disks to spin down. You're gonna leave us already, Johnny? You just got here. No, but there's more things I need to do in that bar. So we're going to try some boot settings to see if we can get that bar to appear. So we're going to BBS menu again and boot from that flash drive. But now we're going to, I think can we edit here? Yes, okay, so we can hit edit there. I need to put this on a bigger screen for myself. Okay, yeah. And I believe we need to edit something in this line. Let me look it up. Bootloader 8 install, and in the line starting with Linux, yeah, we're there. We need to add a parameter called no mode set, like that. And then press Ctrl X or F10 to boot the configuration. Okay. So let's see if that makes a difference. I'm actually going to put chat on a different screen. Come on. There. Okay, so now chat's over there. Because I only also look through the capture card, so I can't see anything else than you do. So it looks to be working, because now the text didn't become really small. Well, let's hope that's enough. Oh no. Did I not hit the graphical installer? I've never used the text-based installer. I don't know if I can do everything I need to do. Let me see. So we want a ZFS RAID 1 for a boot partition. Okay, and we want to use this disk and this disk. How do I select the disks? Oh, okay, so I need to set these. Oh, we're going to use the text-based installer. Nice. I need to set all these to do not use, because we don't want to use the hard disks. Okay, and then A shift 12, that's correct. And compression on, checksum on, that's good. Copies 1, that's fine. Arc limit, don't care. And then here we're going to say 64 gigabytes, because we don't really need much for a boot partition. And in the top, we already said that we want ZFS RAID Z1. Oh, shoot. I need to do it again. I've never used the graphical version. It looks the same almost, so that's good. 64, so we only want a boot partition of 64 gigs. Okay, and so we're going to use our two NVMe drives. RAID Z1. Oh, damn it. I had... sorry. ZFS RAID 1. Need to do it again. The more often we need to do it, the faster we'll get. That's okay. And then here we want 64. There. Okay, rate Z1 because we want a mirror for our boot partition. That's fine. Copies 1. Compression and checksum on, of course. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next. I am not in Austria. I am in... The N key does not work. Okay. Almost there. I am in the Netherlands. Amsterdam. Keyboard layout German? No. US English with dead keys. Does it have that? No. Okay. US English then. Next. Root password. Now, this is very important. You'll never guess it. And for the email, we'll use, I don't know, hoi@hoi.com. There. Next. Okay, so which network card is it using? ENP6? I guess that's the one that's active? I don't know. PVE example invalid? Sure, that's fine. Oh, I need to give it an IP, huh? Let me check if I have a free IP in a certain range. I think so. Yes, okay. I will use 10.10.128.120/24. And so it's one subnet. And then the gateway is 10.10.128.254. And our DNS server is also 10.10. Does not look valid. Well, the host name. Okay, I get that the host name. No host name. .local. That's going to give problems in the future, but I'll reinstall it. Automatically reboot after success. Okay. Install. Creating partitions. For some reason, my hard disks are rumbling, and I have no idea why. What are you doing with my hard disks? Okay. The Proxmox version is too new and not suitable for current hardware. No, I think there's a frame buffer issue with using AMD graphics cards, but whatever. The no host mode, whatever, seemed to have worked at least graphically. I mean, the graphic interface basically the same as, or see, the text interface is almost the same as the graphic interface. This seems to have worked fine, so. WLED 1, 2, 3, 4. That would have been a good one. Yes, best way to learn English is not to do it on a live stream because people will not talk back. Well, they'll chat back, but it's still not the same. You will not learn pronunciation. Oh, the fans are like going at it. Please remove media. Okay. USB stick removed. Oh, 3B Link 1 N100. Yeah. So I wanted more power, more memory, more network interfaces because I want to have 10 gig or multiple 10 gigs even, and lots of hard disks. So that's why I arrived at this build. Let's see if we end up in Proxmox. We should. So these disks have been used before. So there is ZFS pool information on there, but it's going to complain about that. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. So let's turn this one off, go here, and let me find a Chrome interface we can use. Let's put it over here. Hold on. No. So I'm just going to open that interface real quick. I don't remember the interface. Let's go back here. Don't remember the port number. Oh, 8006. Okay. I know you guys can't see anything yet. One moment. There. And now I should be able to say... Okay. Now let me resize that. A bit too big. There. Okay, so you'll get this because the certificate is invalid. That's fine. We go to Advanced and Proceed. And then we're greeted with the Proxmox interface. So our normal user is root, and then our super secret password, which isn't password at all. And then we're greeted with the Proxmox interface. And well, our no hostname node is now online. So let's see if it found the disks. Oh yeah, okay. Let's close all of those real quick. So we have two NVMe drives. That is correct. Those are our 2 terabyte Seagate FireCuda 530s. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hard drives of 14 terabytes. That is looking good. I'm going to move the chat again because I cannot see the chat. You've been using Proxmox 624. Yeah, but 624. Maybe it's time to update. It's free, so I mean... Okay, speaking of updates, we need to go to Updates and Repository here, and it'll say Enterprise Repository is enabled. No subscription. That is correct. So, we can easily disable all the Enterprise. Here we have one that is called Enterprise, Disable, and another that's called Enterprise, Disable. But now it doesn't have an update repository, so we say add. And then we say the no subscription. Now it's not recommended to run production and blah, blah, blah. That is all fine. We say add, okay. And now we go to updates. And we say refresh. That is in window, right? Yes, you can see that. Good. Okay, so it refreshed and it found all these updates because the ISO files like from a few weeks ago, whatever. And so let's say upgrade. Now that is in a new window. So let me add that window on top. Plus window capture. Yeah. So it's a new window that asks you, it's also a Chrome window, are you okay with updating all of that? And you say, yep, let's go. It's 500 megabytes, but I have a gigabit internet, so that should be fine. Do you have to scroll down first? I only have a single... maybe, Jerums, are you at the current timestamp? It's actually slower than expected. Later, Diesel. Didn't hit enter on that first message. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you might be behind a little bit. The new house currently has, well, no internet prospects yet. I'll probably have to fix it myself, but that might be an interesting video series in the future. Yeah, these are slower than expected. Well, installing should be pretty fast with the CPU and NVMe drives. Yes, I am still using NX Witness. It's still nice. I did get updates and everything, and it's been working really well. Whatever type of update you're doing, it always takes longer than you expect. Okay, so it is, we can just hit exit here. And then we're back in the main interface. And here we should be able to say reboot. Reboot no hostname. Yes. I used a Windows install with that and the Seagate C-Chest, I believe it's called, utility, and that will automatically check for new firmware for your SSDs and hard disks, and it found some for the Exos X16s I'm using, so I was just able to install it using that too. But you can also find it on the Seagate website using the serial number, I believe. Yeah, Proxmox is nice. I've been using it for quite a few years now, and it's been good. So in theory it should auto boot, otherwise we have to change things in the BIOS. Let's give it a minute. Okay, let's hit F5. Nope, not there yet. Oh, yep, there it is. Noise. Okay. So let's see, we have our 93 gigs of memory. It might still need to tweak the BIOS a little bit, or it's GIB, so it's not gigabytes, it's gigabytes. But I want the graphics card to use the least amount of memory as possible. So that looks good. We have 32 times Ryzen core blah, so that's 16 cores. And that's all looking good. Oh, the time is 1970. That might not be fully correct. Okay, let's take a putty and fix that. Let me show you the putty screen. Can I show you the putty screen? Not yet. Okay, let me open the host first. Can I now show you the putty screen? No. What? Why not? There it is. Okay. Let me enlarge that font for you. So what date and time is it? Friday, 31st of January. Oh, that is correct. What? No, 9:44. Well, 9:44. Oh, PM. Yeah, no, that is absolutely correct. Maybe it just had not found my time server yet. Let's refresh this. No, we're still in 1970. I don't know what's going on here. Never seen that before. Let's go to the data center. Maybe it'll fix itself. Who knows? Okay. Where's my... This is incorrect. My putty is all messed up. Hold on. I can't see anything. Oh, but the putty on this screen is also messed up. What the hell? Let's enter it away. There. Most of it. Okay. We're going to go to /dev/disk/by ID. Because the hard disks I'm using, we won't be able to create a ZFS set using the interface. Oh, I guess I can show you actually. Let's just show you. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a ZFS pool of the hard disks, right? So we go to our no host name, and then we go to disks, because there is a function in here with which we can wipe the disk. So let's do that. So here we can say wipe disk, and we're going to do that for all the hard disks. Okay, well, it's going to open those each time, so that's irritating, but let's just only wipe the hard disks. Okay, wipe disk. Okay, now we wiped all the hard disks except for the NVMe drives, because we don't want to do that. Now let's go to ZFS, create ZFS. We'll give it a disk pool. I don't know, you have to give it some name. We want a RAID Z2, so with 2 parity drives, because we have too much data otherwise for a single parity drive. Compression is on, A shift 12, so that's all good. And let's hit create, and I expect it to fail. It didn't fail. Okay, well, last time I did, it failed because it said, oh, I found the ZFS pool already on the disk. Now it's saying, that's all fine. I just did that. That's okay. Okay, so, well, that was easy. Okay, perfect. Well, now we have our ZFS pool. So that's easy, but at some point we want to install some VMs, right? So the next thing I'd like to do is to create some storage that we can use for VMs and containers. The first thing I'm going to do for that is we're going to go back to the command line. There. And here, if you now do zpool list, we now have our R pool, which is our boot, and we have the disk pool. And if we go to disk pool, well, it's empty. Now you can create directories, but if you're using ZFS, it's better to create data sets of large things that belong together, basically. Does it play Doom? Oh, this will play Doom just fine. But so instead of creating a directory, we can say ZFS create. So not zpool create, but ZFS create. and then we're going to say disk pool ISO, because we need a place to store ISO images and things like that. And I'm also going to create a disk pool / backup, which will be a data set for storing backups and things like that. Can I play Crisis? Well, if you add a graphics card, well, probably the onboard graphics card will actually do pretty well. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the interface. And you'll see that although we just added things, those still don't show up here. That is because we need to add them, but if you look here, oh well, I think you can actually, oh, you can create directories here. Well, okay, never use that. You actually need to go to the data center instead of to no hostname. You go to the data center, and here you have storage, same as the other storage but different. And there we can say I want to add a directory, because we can't add ZFS. Can we add ZFS? Oh, we can add ZFS. Oh. Let's see if we can add it as a ZFS instead of a directory, because I sometimes use directory. No, well, I think we still need to do directory, because currently the content type can only be disk image and container. And if we add it as a directory, it can be disk image, ISO image, container template, VZ dump template, container, etc. So we're still going to add it as a directory, and our directory is disk pool / ISO. And then we want to be able to store ISO images, not disk images, container templates, snippets, and import. Okay, do I need to do anything advanced? No. Add. Invalid. Oh, it has to be an absolute. Okay, so we need another slash. So / disk pool / ISO. Okay, and we're going to add another one that is called backup. And that is in disk pool backup. And for that we want to, I think it's VZ dump files, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, we'll find out later. Add. Okay. But we still don't have storage for our VMs. So where are we going to put them? We can put them on the hard disks. That kind of doesn't make sense, does it? Now I need to look up some of my own documentation. Because we're going to partition the SSDs and we're going to misuse them for all kinds of other stuff. Yes. Okay. To do that, we're going back to command line. And since we have two SSDs that will have mirrored and separate partitions, we'll need to be able to create those partitions. Do we have GDisk? We have GDisk. Okay. So let's ls does that work? No. I haven't done this in a while. See, I need the thingy. I'm in the wrong directory. Okay. Def disk by ID. There. So our current partitions, we have 3 partitions already, but our first drive is this one. So we're going to say gdisk dev disk by ID / and then that name. And well, gdisk will take some getting used to, but I know P is for print. And we see that we have 3 partitions. First is to fill up the drive with the sectors so the sectors are aligned. Then we have our first boot EFI partition, whatever you want to call it. And then we have our first ZFS partition. and that is our boot drive, our mirrored boot volume, right? So that's 63 gigabytes, and it's code BF01. Now let's copy that real quick so we don't forget that. Okay. Now we want to create a new partition, N for new. Which partition? Well, 4. And the first sector is whatever sector it's at, so we hit enter again. And then the last sector, well, I don't know what the last sector needs to be, but I do know that I want that volume. I need to check my documentation. I want it to be 512 gigabytes. So I just say plus 512 GB, and it'll automatically do gigabytes. That's fine. And then it says, oh, what hex code do you want to use? Well, that's what we just looked up. That's the BF01. Hey there, Unexpected Maker. And now we should have a fourth partition, and we're going to do the same. New, partition 5, start wherever, and this one is also going to be plus 512 GB, BF01. So now we have 5, and we're going to need a few, so I'm just going to go through this. Yes. And then we need one. $13 GB. And we need another one, the last one. No, wait, that's free. Okay, so it might have made a last one. We're going to delete number 8. Yeah. And so now we have our boot partition we already had. We've added some NVMe storage and NVMe mirror and all kinds of things I will explain in a later video and articles. But basically we're going to have storage on the NVMe drive for booting our system, for mirrored, which will have 2 local copies of a VM, so mirrored VM storage and container storage. And then we're going to have unmirrored VM and container storage, which won't have local copies, but will have copies on the other cluster nodes. So less important VMs can go there. They'll still be highly available between all the nodes, but if one SSD on a node fails, it won't be able to run on that node anymore, so it'll have to run on a different node. But that's basically the idea. So let's hit W for write. Oh no! Are you sure? Yes. Okay, and that completed successfully. So we're going to do ls again, and we're going to do that fire the second, so /dev/disk by ID. You'll notice that it doesn't see the partitions yet. Don't worry about that. We need to reboot first. So we're going to do the same to the second SSD. So we're going to say new, fourth, yep, add 512 gigs, BF01, yep, new, yep, plus 512, BF01, new, yep, plus 512, BF01, and then I believe I need 1 of 13. Yes, I believe that is correct and the same as the other one. We're going to do write. Write has been successful, and now we're going for a reboot. So basically what we're doing is we're using a single NVMe drive or 2 NVMe drives, and instead of using it for a single ZFS pool, we're actually going to be putting multiple ZFS pools on that drive using partitioning. Now, anywhere you'll read online is going to tell you that you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do this in enterprise production, because there, one Z pool could influence the performance of another, and that could have unexpected consequences. But here, this is a home lab type setup, and it's all a lot less critical than in an enterprise environment. And I don't mind that if I put some L2 ARC on the same SSD as my VMs are running from, that they might influence each other in regards to performance. That's fine. I mean, I could even add more NVMe drives. We still have one slot free for the L2 ARC, but it also costs a lot more money. So, yeah, I don't mind sharing devices, but it can come with caveats. I've been running for this like this on my current setup for 5 years or more, and for my expectations and performance and everything like that, it's fine. There's only going to be a handful of VMs on there, and none have to have sub-millisecond guaranteed response times or whatever if for some reason one of the other partitions would be accessed at the same time, right? So with that caveat, I believe it's fine to do that. Just know what your expectations are. Okay, let's go back into the node and let's look at dev disk by ID again. And now, because we rebooted, the operating system has reloaded our partitions, and now we can see all the partitions present. Okay? I do wonder why it's present double. It's interesting. Oh, okay. Well, it's all linked together. That's fine. So, now we want to create a ZFS pool on the NVMe drives to store our data. We can go back to the interface, but as I just told you, they don't want you to do this. So if we go here and we go to I always forget where it is. Disks? No. ZFS. Yeah. And we say create ZFS. It'll say, no, I can't. All the disks are being used. Okay. But oh. Yeah, so we can't do that from the interface. So we go back to the CLI, and we'll have to do it ourselves. Now, I believe the first partition we made was partition 4. So if we look at this, let's say zpool create min o a shift is 12. It's going to be hard to explain why you need to do that, but you just need to do that. Mirror. I always forget if you should write mirror or the name of the mirror first. And then let's call this NVMe mirror. Dev disk by ID slash. And here, I want this one actually. We're not going to put in the whole disk. Or we are going to put in the whole disk, but we're also going to put in the partition information. And on both, we select part 4, which is one of the partitions we just created. Those were all 0.5 terabyte each. So I think this is correct. Okay, I always forget what you need to name when. So this needs to be devices. Then where do I put the drive name or the pool name? Let's try it over here. Yes. Okay. So we have a NVMe. So to explain the command line, we'd say zpool because we want to create a new pool. Create min o a shift is 12. Has something to do with certain disk formats. Nowadays, you basically always use A shift 12. We call it NVMe mirror, and we want a mirror of this disk, part 4, and this disk, part 4. If here you would have said part 1, 2, or 3, well, it would probably have thrown an error, but you could easily overwrite one of the partitions, so don't do that. So now if we say zpool list, we have our disk pool, our R pool for booting, and NVMe mirror. And if we say zpool status, we can see that our R pool is a R pool which has a single mirror in there of these two NVMe drive, part 3. And we have an NVMe mirror which also has a mirror in there of part 4. So that's important to remember, right? And we have our disk pool which has a RAID Z2 in there. So that's using RAID Z instead of a mirror with our 8 disks. Now, if we expand on that idea and we say, okay, let's go back. And we remove the word mirror and we make this say NVMe stripe. And in the same command line, we change this to part 5 and this to part 5. And then we do a zpool list. We now have a second volume or zpool, which is 1 terabyte in size. And if we then take a look at zpool status, we can see that instead of having a mirror here for NVMe mirror with a mirror inside, we have an NVMe stripe with 2 partitions, not disks, but partitions inside, which will basically be used in a striped manner automatically because of how ZFS works, right? Does that make sense? And does anybody have questions? I know it was a bit of a short explanation maybe, but yeah. And I'm gonna drink something. Is what more performant? In theory, the NVMe stripe is going to be more performant than the NVMe mirror, especially for reads. A mirror can read from both disks because they both have the same information. So it can accelerate those, but writes it will have to do twice, so those will be slower. And an NVMe stripe, in theory, can read and write faster, but these are Gen 4 NVMe drives, so it's barely going to matter. Okay, well, if there's not a lot of questions, we can check some more things. Now, I didn't specify anything about compression or things like that. So we can say ZFS get compression. That is correct, Jacco. There's no option to grow or shrink sizes. No, that's correct. And here we can see that compression nowadays is default turned on, and that compression it uses by default when it's on is LZ4. That's also what we want, so that's pretty easy. But we can see some interesting things. For instance, we have disk pool, which had compression on, so it says source local. But then we created some ZFS datasets, remember, a little bit ago? And it says backup and ISO also have compression on because it's inherited from disk pool, because it's a dataset that is on that disk pool, so it inherits that. But we could actually change it if we wanted to. So if we'd say ZFS set compression is off for disk pool / backup, and then we say ZFS get compression, then you can see that for backup, it's actually off now instead of on. Now, we don't want that, so we're going to put that back. Can I say inherit? No. Okay, must be blah, blah, blah. Alright. Well, let's just say on. And then get. Okay, so now it's explicitly set on. It's no longer inherited. I'm not sure how to put the inherited back, but in the end it'll be the same. Now, you can say, well, why do you want to do that? Well, that's because ZFS has a lot more commands that you can do like that. You can also say ZFS set quota is 100 GB for disk pool / ISO. Okay, ZFS get quota. So now you can see that anything that will get stored in the ISO folder, in this case, will only be able to store 100 gigs. And you can make all kinds of nested quotas even and things like that. So if you're sharing home directories to multiple users, or you have a download folder that you don't want to grow indefinitely, because then your disks will fill up and it'll cause problems for other stuff, you can just set a quota on there, and then it'll just say that that part of the disk is full while the other things just continue running, right? So that's interesting. And there's all kinds of other settings you can set, but that goes beyond the scope of this video or live stream or whatever. Now, we created all this, so now we're almost ready to install a VM. It did add some. Okay, we added backup and we added ISO. Disk pool automatically got added. But where is our NVMe mirror and our NVMe stripe and things like that? Well, it won't add those automatically. I think it'll see them here. Yes. Okay, so it will see them here in the ZFS overview. And it'll say, oh, well, this one with part 4 online, even though it couldn't create them. We created them ourselves. Yeah, these are all fine. These are online and it's working and that's all great. Okay. But we're not able to use them over here. But we want to, because we want to put a VM on there. We go to Data Center. We go to Storage. Add. I think in this case I should say ZFS. And let's say NVMe mirror. And that is NVMe mirror. And it's good for containers and disk images. I want thin provisioning. Normally it just has to write everything out, and with thin provisioning it only writes what it needs to. Okay, add, and I want ZFS, NVMe stripe. That is over here. Same thing, add. And now you can see that they are available over here. Right? Okay. Now, let's install a Windows VM. The first thing we need to be able to install a Windows VM. Oh, that's funny. Remember we set that quota on the ISO folder? First it said total size 80 terabytes because, well, it was able to use the whole disk, right? But then we said, no, quota 100 gig. And it will actually report to the operating system that it's a disk or a part of the disk that is only 100 gigs. So it shrank from having 80 terabytes available all the way down here to having 100 gigs available. Now the graph is broken. That's fine. It'll fix itself automatically over time. But here you can see that, well, it sees the quota size we put in there. But if we go to backup, it will see all of the size. So, you know, that's one of the things you can do there. Because we enabled the ISO flag, we can upload ISO images here. But we can also, since Proxmox 8.3 or 8.2, I believe, we can download it from a URL. Now I need to look up a website real quick. Windows ISO download URL. There's one of the websites. And I need to find it. No. Windows 11. There. I like to use this URL, If you scroll down a little bit, it says Windows 11 24 H2 all editions 64 gigs 5.4 gig English. And we can say copy link address. And then we can enter that URL over here. Query. And it'll automatically find this ISO file. And we can say download. SDN? No, I don't think so. And now it'll the server will actually download that ISO file for us. So we don't have to download it on our client first and then upload it. You can have the server download it for you. Well, I worked in storage and servers and large data farms and things like that for like 20-25 years, Unexpected Maker. So I like toying with this stuff. That's why I do it. Otherwise, I would probably just also buy a Synology or something like that. Wow, that ISO's coming in with over 100 megabytes a second. That's really cool. Okay, so now it downloaded that ISO file, so that is done. But to be able to install Windows 11 in a hypervisor, we're going to need something else. And that is the, well, how do I call that? Windows 11 Proxmox driver disk. There's a name for the Virt.io drivers, yeah. And you can get those from here, I believe. No, not that one. Yeah, there is a wiki article from Proxmox, and they link to a Fedora. We'll do Ubuntu also later. They link to a Fedora page where you can get the latest version. Latest Virt.io or stable, that's fine too. Virt.io win.iso. So we're going to say download from URL again, query, download. Oh wow, that's a lot slower. And then we're almost ready to install our first Windows VM. Yeah, now I like toying with this stuff and making it custom. I also want to have a highly available cluster for running multiple Home Assistant instances, because if Home Assistant goes down, everything goes down. So yeah. If Home Assistant goes down, I'm not able to turn on any light in this studio. Yeah, well, this is the same HAHA project, but then the 2025 edition. It's been working great for years, so why change it? Yeah, I get that, Unexpected Maker. But I'm still pretty versed in this kind of stuff, so I can fix it myself, but yeah. Oh, well, in this case, it's just a testing Windows VM. We're just going to install it for during the stream. Other than that, I have several VMs running for doing all kinds of monitoring and, as I said, multiple Home Assistant things and other VMs that arrange stuff for in my home network. Okay, so it downloaded the Virt.io Win ISO we need, and we have the newest Windows 11 ISO. So let's say create VM, live Windows and it tells me it needs an ISO file. We have one, this one, okay, and it's Windows, and it automatically asks me, do I want an additional drive for VirtIO drivers? I do actually, and it's over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I actually often refer back to my own articles I write for this, for the guides. So okay, next. And then it says, okay, where can the EFI storage go? Let's put that on NVMe Stripe, and the TPM storage can also be an NVMe Stripe, and all the storage we just put on NVMe Stripe. I want the QEMU agent. And then it asks me for a disk. Okay, and that's also going to be on NVMe Stripe. Let's give it 100 gigs. We enable discard because we're writing to SSDs. And let's give it an 8-core CPU. And we can leave it on x86-64 V2. But if you want some extra performance, and in this case I'm going to have a 3-node cluster which all have the same CPU architecture, I can actually set it to host, and then it will have all the features that the normal host would also have. Next, we have 96 gigs of memory, so let's give it 16 gigs of memory. And it goes to VMBR0, that's our bridge network card, basically an internal network switch, that's all fine. Finish. I just switched out a wall switch in my house. Almost all of them can turn on off the light without HA. Yeah, but that's sure, but then your lights are linked with your switch, and mine are not. So, I mean, yeah. I get the idea of still having a physical link between the switch and the light, but I've kind of let that go. I don't need or want that anymore. So I can have physical switches wherever, or logical switches or whatever, and I can have lights and controllers and also whatever. And as long as it works through a home assistant and can talk to each other, and that's fine. Probably in the new house, I will have some emergency lights in each room that I can actually use a physical switch for, but then there will be one switch and one light in that room, and that's it. Everything else is disconnected or not connected together, basically. Switches are the future. Okay, let's start our VM. And then let's hit console. And I will have to show you that window, I think. Yes. So let's do this. And then this one? No. This one? Yes. Oh, damn it. I need to push a button. I failed to push a button. Okay, on the side here you can say Ctrl-Alt-Delete, this one. There. Press any button. Okay, I pressed the button. Press that button. Let's move this window. No, not that window. There. Okay, yeah, that looks good. No, wait, time and date format. I always have to say Netherlands. Well, I don't have to, but I like the Netherlands format better. Or Dutch. Is it Dutch? Yeah, Dutch. Next. United States International, because I want dead key, so that's good. Install. I agree, everything will be deleted. That's fine, let's go. I don't have a product key. And now it thinks it's going to install, but it... Oh, okay. I want Windows 11 Pro. Because I'm a professional. I accept everything. Searching for disks. Uh-oh. No disks found. Well, we already prepared for that with the virt.io second CD drive. So let's load driver, browse. We can go to the virt.io. And I always forget which one I need. I think it's VIO SCSI, Windows 11, AMD 64. Yeah. And then we have our Redhead virt.io SCSI pass to whatever controller. Install. And now we can see our 100 gig disk we allocated. Next. What? Oh, okay, yeah. Install. And there we go. Installing Windows 11 in our VM. You can do all this setup using Ansible and declarative OS like Nix. So you don't have to remember it. Yes! But then I gotta learn that, and that's gonna take a lot longer than doing this once or twice. Oh, you're still on Windows 10? Wow. I haven't seen Windows 10 in a while. Are they manufactured in the EU, Johnny, or are they assembled in the EU? I think it's the last, but I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Shelly. Shelly's a fine company, but yeah. No, oh, it might be picking up the fan actually, because the CPU fan actually turned on. But you might also hear the disks, but I have not tried SDN in Proxmox. What is SDN? What does it stand for? I also do MikroTik devices in GUI or CLI, so yeah. Oh, software-defined networks. No, I mainly have a bridge, maybe two, and that's it. You can hear them at night. Wow, okay. Well, these are all dampened by rubber, so they're pretty good. But I actually don't mind the crackling noises. I like those. So after this, we'll do a Ubuntu container install. And then, I don't know, kind of ran through all the things. Cluster. Oh, we can do one of those scripts we mentioned. Because I'd love to see my hard disk temperatures and stuff like that in the GUI. But we'll check that out last. It says manufactured by Shelly Europe in Bulgaria. Yeah, I doubt they actually have everything made here. Because it's just so expensive. I've looked into it before, but yeah. But we'll see. I don't actually know, but yeah. There's always folks that like HDDs going brr. Yeah, I just... If there's... I mean, I don't miss the speed of hard disks, okay? But booting up your computer and being able to recognize by the crackling of the hard disks what it's doing, I don't know. I always love that. Okay, well, next part, and we're going to run into a problem here, well, I'm from the Netherlands, that is correct. Sure, US, that's fine. No. Well, it says it can't find my network. And with the latest Microsoft installers, they've gone completely batshit, and you can't actually continue anymore without a network because you have to make a Microsoft account. Well, when is the next Winbox? I actually recorded one this week, Stefan, so it's coming soon. We can hit F10, I believe if no. Okay, I need to look it up. We can still bypass this. Bypass Windows 11 install OB whatever. Yeah, we have to press Shift F10 and then a window opens and we can say OOBE bypass NRO and then it'll suddenly start rebooting. And, well, we're back here. Okay. Netherlands. Sure. US. Sure. Skip. And now we have a new button that says, I don't have internet. And now we can actually just make a local account and everything's fine. My name is Quindor. Enter this super secret password. And it's going to ask us stupid questions. So the answer to the stupid questions is the super secret password. Now you've all seen it. Now none of my devices on the network are safe. And this is all no. Nope. No. No. Don't ask. Why are you asking? Nobody wants this. No. ChatGPT never lies. No, it only hallucinates. It didn't know it was lying, so you know. Just use WLED1234. Yeah. We're all here for the secrets. Well, I don't have a new secret today, so that's going to be interesting. Just use Draadstaal as a password. That would probably work. This might take a few minutes. Do not turn off your PC. Okay. I've got the same password on my luggage. Oh, that's a good one, Renzo. Is there a Proxmox script to add Clippy to Windows? What? Okay. So now we're in Windows. And let's see, Device Manager. We likely have a lot of devices missing. But we still have that Vert.io disk connected. So let's go there. And I believe this now works. We can go to Vert.io Win GTX64. Okay, yeah. Sure, just install them all. Install. Yes. Okay, so now all our devices are installed, but I don't believe it installs the guest agent. So let's also install the guest agent. Yes. Okay, well, it doesn't really do anything that shows up. Yeah, so now we have Windows. Yeah. Let's see what Windows thinks we have as a CPU. It now sees the same CPU as the host has, with 8 cores. But it will show 2.5 gigahertz because the base clock of this mobile Ryzen is 2.5 gigahertz. And this CPU driver doesn't understand that it's boosting in the background. It all works fine in regards to performance, but you won't see it over here. But that's okay. Hey, Dutch Towers. And we should now also have a network card. So let's look at that. Yep. And can we also see the speed that it's connected at? Okay, it thinks it's connected with 10 gigabit since it's connected to the internal switch. That's good. I don't know. Let's do a go away. What? Copilot? No, I want stupid Edge. No, 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 no. It's like a child. You have to tell it no the whole time. Let's do some, I don't know, let's do some speed test. Reject. Go away. Block. This is the current internet experience. You have to say, no, 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 block, go away. Oh wait, this might actually mess with the stream. Because we're testing upload now. That might actually be a problem. I don't know. Well, I don't notice anything. Do you guys notice anything? Yeah, I've got baller internet. I've been really happy with that. Okay, let's kill that. Let's see if we had some dropped frames. We had a little bit of dropped frames, not much though. Things were a little choppy for a second. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, are we back? Did it fix itself? I don't really know what to do with this Windows 11 here, but I just wanted to show you how to do a Windows install on a new Proxmox, blah blah blah. Johnny noticed nothing. So, okay. Whole internet got down. Everything Gucci. Okay. Next, let's do the same, but then install a Prox or a Ubuntu container. To do that, we go back to the ISO here. We go to the CT templates, and then we hit this template button. And here we can just search for Ubuntu. And we want a 24.10. Okay? So we download the Ubuntu 24.10 standard container. Docker on host, LXC or VM. Yeah, we're not going to go into all of that. We're just going to install a nice LXC container. So now we have the ISO images like we had before, and we have a CT template for our containers. And we can say, okay, create container, and we're going to call this live Ubuntu. It needs a password. No, well, you can never guess this password. Okay, next. And, well, we just downloaded this Ubuntu 24.10 template. Don't go to disk pool. We want everything on that stripe. Let's give it 32 gigabytes of disks. You can also have 8 cores. You can have, like, I don't know, 8 gigs of memory. Just DSCP everything. Sure. Go. Oh, that's already done. Okay. Start. Console. Now we need to do the console thingy. Which one is it? This one? No. This one? No. Hold on. It needs to redetect. No. 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 One moment. Can I not share that? I guess not. No, it's just the Google Chrome. Oh no! Wait, what? Huh? Let's close the other one. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, leave. Sorry, trying to figure this out. Well, I guess I could do the console in there, but that's less fun. No. It should be this one, but then it's not displaying anything. Nope, okay, we'll do it in here. We also have a console button over here, and I already logged in, so yeah, we're already in there. So this is live Ubuntu, because, well, this is now a container. So let's do an apt update. I don't know, apt dist upgrade. Yes. Well, yeah, so this is a Ubuntu container. Not that much to show. I mean, we can do apt install btop. Oh, okay, doesn't like that. Oh, doesn't like that? Okay. Well, not that much to show. Let's talk about that script we were going to look at. Let me show you the normal window capture, which now should work. There. And let's install btop on the host. There. A btop is a command line tool like htop or top or whatever you want to do. And it can show you like the memory used, the network bandwidth used, which process is using the most memory and CPU. But it can also show you your CPU temperatures. Actually higher than I would expect, but still pretty good. But I believe there's now a script which can also show this in your host or in your Proxmox interface. So let me check that. I need to check it on my phone because I think I made a screenshot from it a while back. Yeah, so I need to find a repository. So we're going to take a look at this repository. Now I've never used or tested this before, so use it at your own peril. And can I get the zip file easily? Wait, let me check how to install this easily. Alright, I think we need to install some stuff here. So let's apt install LM sensors. Yes. Is there an easy way to install this? Yeah. Okay. There's an install instructions. Okay, after doing that, we need to do sensors detect. Let's just hit enter for everything so it does the normal auto detection. Sure. There is guidelines to go by, especially if you're doing this for the enterprise. But for instance, if you install Proxmox 8.3, any ZFS pool will have limited arc space. Before it was like 80% of your memory maximum, but now I believe a ZFS pool will only get like 10 or 12 or whatever gigs or 10% of your memory, and the rest is reserved for VMs and things like that. For home use, I would say to hell with the guidelines in that sense, because you're not going to be running a 1,000 user file server there, right? So it needs to live up to your expectations, and you need to dig into that a little bit. But using generic guidelines, which might be for whatever scenario, I don't think that really applies. Okay, let's get the PVE GUI mod sensor script. It's going to wreck everything. That's why we do this on this node. And then let's install it. This is all in the GitHub I linked. Oh no, I made a mistake. There. No RAM temperature, no HDD, no... Yeah, that's all correct. I wanted to display in Celsius, please. The only real type of number. Do you want to display system information? Yes. That's why I'm installing this. Clear browser cache to ensure all changes are visualized. Okay. So let's go to our host. Host name, summary. Okay. Control F5. Oh! More stuff appeared. So, our microcomputer motherboard serial number default string. Nice. Okay. Oh, you now have the temperatures here for the CPU. Cool. And for the NVMe drives. Oh, the NVMe drives are really cool. But those are, if you follow the other parts of this series, those are under an M.2 cooler. So that M.2 cooler is definitely working. And, I mean, this is a mobile chip. So as long as the temperatures aren't hitting like 90 degrees or 94 degrees for the CPU, this is perfectly fine, I believe. The graphs are still in 1970. Maybe a reboot will fix that. I don't know. Actually, let's check it out. I believe I have some stressing power measurements. Yes, let's install a tool to stress the CPU to see if it's going to overheat or not. Okay, app install stress ng. Yes. And I wrote myself a little command. Let's stress the CPU for 1 minute with 16 threads, because we have 16 cores. Now we can also do 32. We'll try that after that. Okay. We're seeing 160 watts being drawn from the socket. Now let's see what the CPU temperatures do. Oh, that's... Is the CPU fan even spinning? Yeah, it is. Okay. There's some warm air coming out of it. Okay, it's now at 163 watts, so it's not scaling down. That means the CPU isn't overheating. CPU is now at 80 degrees. Okay. Well, this is very uneventful. Of course, Proxmox thinks we only loaded half the CPU because we have 32 threads. We'll do 32 threads too. But it's nice being able to see the temperatures of the NVMe drives in the CPU in the GUI, right? Especially if multiple nodes. That's interesting. But I was hoping I could also see the hard disk temperatures, but that's not possible, it seems. Okay. Script finished. It did. 2,185,804 BOGO ops. Run Prime 95. Well, this is kind of the same. I don't know the CLI for Prime 95. So let's hit 32 threads for a minute. See what happens. Go. Okay, now Proxmox thinks it's like... Oh, wait. What window was I showing you? Oh, damn it. Okay. Hold on. There. Now you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, now Proxmox thinks it's like 100% CPU utilization, but our temperatures here are still pretty mediocre. Yeah, we're drawing 166 watts from the wall, so it's not thermal throttling, I'd say. I can't speak anymore. Oh, bling. Oh, okay. Successfully completed. Oh, we got more performance out of it. Now we got 3 million. What's the idle draw? Let's see. 112 watts. Of course, there's also all kinds of hard disks running and things like that. So, yeah, 108. 109. Yeah. You have to remember, this is a oh wait, our Windows 11 and our Ubuntu also still running. So the CPU is being kept busy. Let's shut this down. Yes. And let's shut this down. Yes. Hardware info on Linux. So I think I can also see the hard disk temperature over here. How airflow temperature 32. Oh, okay. And how warm is this hard disk? Airflow temperature Celsius 37. Okay. This one 37. This one 34. This one 36. Okay. They've gotten too hot in the past, it seems, but. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, now our idle usage is 80 watts. So having those VMs and containers active, and especially Windows, will, there's a Linux version, okay. Apt install hardware info, sure. Let's go. Is it still on screen? Yes. Now what? HW info? Uh-oh. Okay. It's running at 400 megahertz. Well, it sees a lot of CPUs. Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to be very useful. Yeah, no. Nope. Okay. Are there any questions? Because I've run kind of through things here. How long have we been streaming? Oh, about 2 hours. That's fine. Oh, min CPU? Oh, minus space CPU. Okay. HW info minus... What? CPU? Oh no, everything's being retracted. My... Well, this is all... I mean, I can do just LSPCI to get the same info. So, I mean... We can check if we have two Aquantia NICs, 2 times an AQC113. We can check if those are running in PCIe Gen 4 or in PCIe Gen 3 speeds. So let's check that. LSPCI min VVVV. Lots of V's. And then we need to scroll up and find our Aquantia NIC. Realtek? No. So here we have one of our Aquantia NICs. And let's see here. It says capabilities device. Can I scroll down a little bit? Yeah. Device control, blah, blah, blah. Okay, link cap. Says port 1 16 giga transfers per second. And it's connected at 16 giga transfers per second. So I believe 16 giga transfers per second is PCIe Gen 4. And it's at a width of times 1. So it has 1 PCIe lane. That would be correct. Now let's look for our other Aquantia NIC, because that one should be on PCIe 3. So this is this one. Okay, we can check our Fire CUDA here. It is also on 16 times 4. So that's PCIe Gen 4 times 4. And let's see here. Yeah, we have another Aquantia NIC, the AQC113. And that one, it says it can do... it says it can do also Gen 4 times 4, but it's currently running at Gen 4 times 2, because, well, the network card only supports that. So, okay. Is it then? Yeah, I believe that is correct. Oh, that's correct, because our ASM 1166, though there are SATA controllers, those can only run at Gen 3, PCIe Gen 3. And that one says, okay, I'm running at 8 gigatransfers per second, PCIe Gen 3, times 2. So that gives us 16 gigatransfers per second of bandwidth per ASM 1166 card. But since we only have 4 disks on each, that means that we have plenty of bandwidth basically for hard disks, because we have 16 gigatransfers per second. That's about 1500 megabytes a second or something like that. Well, 4 hard disks are never going to saturate 1500 megabytes a second. If you'd have the whole card filled up, especially with SSDs, sure, you get there. But with 4 hard disks times 2, we have plenty of bandwidth. We can actually check that out. zpool scrub disk pool. And then let's do zpool iostat minus v1. Okay, and I need to resize this a little bit. And you need to... Oh, wait. There's no data on there. Did it already finish? Wait. Zpool status. Yeah, okay. We tried to do a scrub on the disk pool, but it said, like, okay, I'm done. Nothing happened. Okay, hold on. ZFS create disk pool no compress. Oh, wait. Sorry. ZFS set compression is off at on disk pool no compress. DDIF is def 0. OF is disk pool no compress. BS is count is... Oh, okay, sorry. That's correct. Test file. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you a different putty where we have the statistics running. I can't because it's not showing up in OBS. Okay, we'll wait. Really? It's annoying. Oh, there it is. Okay. So on one hand, we now have DD writing zeros, just zeros, into a file. And before that, I made a new ZFS dataset and I turned off compression, because we don't want compression in this case. Because if we only write zeros and we have compression, well, it's not going to write anything because it's all going to be compressed, right? And we don't want to do random because that causes a lot of CPU usage. But as you can see here now, it's basically writing with 1.8 gigabytes a second-ish. But the disks are definitely the bottleneck doing this action. And I mean, our clients are going to be connected with 10 gigabit anyway. So in that sense, if I can read at least with 1 gigabyte a second from the disks, that's going to be plenty. If you install PowerTop and run PowerTop AutoTune, is the idle watt better? Well, you can check that. Sure, we'll check that in a second. But the disks are going to be using most of the power anyway. But sure. Yeah, so with these ASM 1166s having 16 gigatransfers a second, having 4 disks times 2, there's basically no bandwidth restriction. Okay, let's cancel that generation here. Okay, just in that little time, it wrote 161 gigabytes. Okay. Let's see. Apt install PowerTop. PowerTop min. Auto min tune. Okay. Let's see what it says here. File will be loaded after taking minimum number of measurements with battery only. Okay. Glob abort. Leaving PowerTop. Okay. Well, currently our idle is 103 watts, but the disks are active, so I mean... how does this work? Idle states... We're mainly in C3, that's okay. Seemingly there's no lower power state, but the Ryzen's really... they do this internally, so you're not really going to see it anyway. It seems it's not able to see the frequencies. Well, if we go to B-top, no, that's normal top. B-top is able to read the frequency here because the Ryzen scales back to 400 megahertz because it's a mobile version. And I mean, it's really quiet too, because we just set it in the BIOS that if the CPU is below 50 degrees, the fan turns off. So, I mean, oh, now it's shot up to 5.4. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Hardware info minus short. Yeah, not as... Yeah, I don't think the hardware info tool is that nice. Okay. Oh, okay. This one also sees the CPU megahertz, but there's 16 cores which will be at random frequencies, so it's nice to see it boost to 5.4. That gives a really good single core performance. Yeah? I mean, so far this node seems to be performing perfectly well. We stress test the CPU, we stress test the disks. Well, I guess we haven't done any network tests yet, huh? App install iPerf 3. There. Let's go. No. Okay, I need to start iPerf 3 on my current server. One moment. Sure. No, not one. Wait. Okay. iPerf 3 minus C. I don't remember the IP. I think this one. No, hold on. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. 8.59, yeah. That's pretty the same as I've seen for the one that is in the PCIe Gen 4 times 1 slot. The other one is actually a little bit faster, but 8.59 gigabits I can work with. And then maybe if we do 4 parallel streams, it'll do more. No, 8.4 something is the limit. Okay, that's fine. And if we do a reverse test, it does get the 9.41. But that is for the extra one in the slot that we added to the Wi-Fi slot, basically. Let's see if we can switch to the other one that is in the M.2 slot. I don't know if we can. In theory, it'll have the same IP. Is it coming online? No. Okay, so we need to edit the network configuration first. We can do that real quick. Is it going to come back? Let's give it a second to detect that it has network. Oh wait, I plugged it into the wrong port. Duh. Okay. Restart. Yes. So, no. Where's that again? Okay. It currently only has ENP6, so we need to figure out IP link. Okay, so the system knows ENP8, 4, and 6. Those are our 3 network cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to say iFace ENP4 and iFace ENP8, I believe. I don't remember. Manual, and then here we're just going to add them all. So let's double check. 846. 846. Okay. Service networking restart. It's been a while since I've done these things. So let's hope that worked, because otherwise we have no more network connection. Oh, yeah, it worked. Okay. Now, let's move it to the other network card. And in theory, it'll come online. Yep. They were already in the file below. It was. Oh, that's right. Sorry. Well, I still needed to add it to the bridge. So, yeah. So now we're connected to the other network card. Let's see if that makes a difference. Oh, my iPerf line isn't there anymore. Okay. Hyper 3 minus C. Yeah, okay, so this one is faster. The M.2 network card is faster than the one we added to the Wi-Fi slot. But only with like half a gigabit or so, right? Yeah, okay. Interesting. So let's move it back. Let's not change anything. So this gets 9.41 in reverse. Let's wait for it to come online. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Blinky, blinky. Yes. I have to reconnect it. Okay. So we had 9.41. Yeah, this is 841. So it's 1 gigabit slower using the Wi-Fi slot. For some reason. Because if I do it reverse, it is the full speed. That's odd. Why would that be? Yeah, 941. Huh? I have no explanation for that. Good job it's not a CF card. What? Anyway, I don't mind 8 gigabits instead of 9 gigabits or 10 versus 9, whatever. The extra one in the Wi-Fi slot I'm probably going to utilize for the replication network. So when all the nodes are online, they will all have individual ZFS pools, and I'm going to do replication of VMs and datasets and containers to those other nodes on basis of ZFS or through ZFS. And I mean, currently I'm doing it with a gigabit, and that's fine. So this will be, well, I guess then 8 or 9 gigabit instead of the full 10. Okay, and I'll use the other one for my production network and where all the files are shared and things like that. That's already miles better than doing it all through the same network card. So personally, I'm probably never going to notice that. So I mean, before I was going to do it with the onboard 2.5 gigabit NIC, right? Because that's already more than one that I know currently have. So yeah. Okay. I think that's going to be it for this live stream and for this series for now. I want to build the third node while I also take pictures and video, so I can make an edited video about that, and maybe there will be a video about creating the cluster. I'm not sure yet. And then after, at some point, I actually need to put this into production, and then I can't really use it for videos anymore. So that's always a trade-off to make. So for now, it's still for videos and experimenting and testing, but as you can see right here, we installed the software, we updated the software, we installed a Windows VM, we installed a container, we did network tests, we did disk throughput tests, all those kind of stuff, and it didn't flinch once. So to me, personally, I feel these nodes are rock solid, because the other one I've been hammering for months and months, and I've scrubbed hundreds of terabytes in this configuration with the M.2 cards and the SATA cables and the buck converter for the power supply and blah blah blah. And yeah, that's all been working great for me. So so it has we have a 64 gigabyte boot partition, then we have a 512 gigabyte NVMe mirror. So it has 2 copies local. Then we have a 512, which then turns into 1 terabyte locally, for 1 copy local. But since everything is going to be cluster replicated with multiple copies, even if that fails, you still have 2 copies on another node. You just don't have multiple copies on a single node, right? And then we had another 512 gig partition, which I will use for L2 ARC. We will have 2 of those because we have 2 SSDs. So we have 1 terabyte of L2 ARC. Stupid. It'll wear out your SSDs. It's not going to help you with speed, whatever. I like to tune my L2 ARC so that it basically caches everything. So it burns through those SSDs even faster. But it also means that, for instance, video files I ingest and then I'm working on while editing over the network are all coming from the cache. So that's my usage pattern, might not be yours. And then the last 13 gigs is I like experimenting with slog or log partitions so that you have a write buffer for non-synchronous writes. And you shouldn't do this without a battery backup, and you don't have a super cap on the SSDs and yada yada yada. That's all true in an enterprise environment, but again, this is not an enterprise environment, and I like my writes being fast. And if they got lost somehow, that's fine. It's still not going to corrupt your ZFS pool, because ZFS is transaction based and copy on write. So even if power fails mid-write, it'll just not write that part, but your pool or your file system or anything like that won't become corrupt like in a traditional file system, because it always writes new data and change data and anything that happens on a new spot, and that new spot only becomes active once it knows it's written correctly. So if it fails while writing that, it'll just never acknowledge that it's written correctly and nothing will change. Yes, you might lose data from that, which you wouldn't have lost using a battery backup or whatever. But again, I'm in a home scenario, and the chances of that happening are very low. And even if it does happen, well, I knew it would it happened. So, yeah, I can't be bothered. And I mean, the biggest complaint people are going to have about these nodes online is, you don't have ECC memory. All your data is going to die. No, it's not. Yes, having ECC memory is better. No, that's not worth another $2,000 for me. I've never ever had an issue with something being corrupted because I didn't have ECC memory. My workstation also doesn't have ECC memory. Yeah. Sorry. Went on a little bit of a rant there because there's lots of opinions online. These are my opinions. I do have a technical basis for them. You might not agree with that, but that is then your opinion. Interesting night. Thanks, Nigel. All your data will die. Yeah, well, if it would happen that a bit flipped in a file and during a solar eclipse, storm, whatever, then one file might be damaged. Whoop-de-doo. Would it be a lot of work to do a Proxmox OpenSense tutorial? Yes. I think there are already better tutorials for that online than I can do, because I never do anything with OpenSense. I have MikroTik routers, and those are my routers, firewall, etc. So yeah. Yeah, most of these talks and bashing online is done by people regurgitating what they read somewhere else without understanding what is actually going on and understanding the actual implications for the usage scenario it's being used for. As I said, I worked as a high-tier consultant for storage systems for over 20 years, and I actually know what's going on. And so I can decide if I care about this or not without having to regurgitate someone else's answer online. I really like doing my own research and understanding things myself. So, yeah. And if your use case doesn't agree with that, that's fine. Then use ECC memory and use all the other stuff. I get that. That's okay. It exists for a reason, but yeah. Would you consider OpenWRT for a home lab? Sure, if you want to play with that. Yeah. And OpenSense and Pi-hole and downloading tools and all kinds of stuff. Sure, yeah. That's why I like Dr. Ian Cuttress. Yeah, he's good. He's also very technically knowledgeable. Yeah, I'm a big enthusiast about ZFS because I like how it does things. I get the unrate proposition, but for what I do with my disks, it's not suitable. As in, I need multiple gigabit performance to live edit from my file share. And yes, you can do that with caching and all kinds of other stuff, but I'd rather just do it this way. Yeah, Tech Potato. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he got his own YouTube channel a while back and articles. And I mean, he used to work for Anantech, and I loved his CPU articles and things like that. But yeah, sadly, Anantech is no more. So, well, it kind of was no more already for a while. But you know. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. He knows his stuff. Will you recommend it if only for a small setup? I mean without disk for cache. Will I recommend what? You mean Unraid? If you need expandability and things like that, and ease of use, and I think all the contain... I have never really used Unraid, so I'm not the guy to judge this. ZFS. Yeah. I mean, Unraid is easy to use for that setup. But ZFS with 4x4 terabytes, sure. Yeah, you can use a RAID Z1. So you only lose one disk in parity. And you have 3 disks for data. Or 3 times disk space for data. As if you grow larger, if you have like 8 or 10 or in my case 14 terabyte disks, it's very much recommended to use RAID Z2 because you become... Basically, at some point, the chance of another failure during a rebuild is so high that if you have a too large disk, basically another disk has to fail during the rebuild. So that's why you use RAID Z2. But Striped Mirror is an option. I currently use a RAID 10 with 10 terabyte disks for my main volume because at that point 5 years ago, I needed the I/O. But for the new servers, I'm going to RAID Z2 for all the volumes. Because, yes, the I/O is there, but I no longer have to run VMs on disk, because I have plenty of NVMe storage in here. 5 years ago, that would have been a lot more expensive. And right now, I will have 512 gigs as a NVMe mirror, so 2 copies locally, and I'll have a terabyte available per node. Well, no, in total for the cluster, I should say, because I'm mostly going to do 3 copies of everything. For the Stripe, so I'm going to have 1.5 terabytes of NVMe storage available to do all my VMs and containers and things like that. That's going to be plenty for a while. Sure. ZFS isn't... as I just explained, ZFS, for instance, does copy on write. So instead, if you have instead of modifying blocks, it'll write a new block and then discard the old one. So in that sense, it's less efficient with disk usage, I guess, but it's a lot safer. But sure, it'll burn through your SSDs at some point, but not in 5 years if you're just running it at home. That's fine. But some guidelines do apply. Do not install Proxmox on a USB stick or an SD card or something like that. Proxmox itself will kill your SSDs with logs and things like that. But these NVMe drives I have in here have 2.5 petabytes of writes, at least. Probably live long after that. And that's why I selected them, and I didn't go with a different brand or a different type. 2.5 petabytes of writes is going to last me at least 5 years, and then it's fine for me. Then I'm going to replace it anyway. Sure, but that's still a nice little play server there, Paul. I mean, it all depends on your needs. This is total overkill. I don't need 3 times 16 cores with 3 times 96 gigs of memory and 100 terabytes of disks and blah blah blah. I mean, partially I had this because of the Chia project and other reasons, so yeah. But and you know, as I said, I was a storage and server consultant for over 20 years, so some things just stick, you know. Yeah. Okay, well, I thank you all for being here. It was fun for this series. The next video will probably be a Quinn box, like someone already asked. And after that, we might actually have a product introduction again. We've been doing so many product introductions. So, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video, live stream, in the comments or on the Discord server. Bye-bye.